to another lookbook video. So I'm about to leave to go get dinner with two of my friends. So I just wanted to wear like a plaid shirt and like a warm orange makeup look, and I really love how this turned out. So I primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer and the Micole lip oil, of course, to nourish my lips, and then I set my eyes with the Urban Decay Stay Naked powder. And then for my eyes, I used the Odin's Eye and Angelica Nyquist Trick or Treat palette again. I just really wanted to go back into this palette and get a little bit more use out of it. It's still a fall palette. I don't have to strictly just use this for Halloween. I really wanted to do the orange look that I did as the first look that I did with this palette when I first tried it out. So I just did that look because that was like probably my favorite look that I did with this palette. You guys know I love oranges. I love warm tones. So I went in with Jack-o'-lantern in the crease. Then I darkened up the crease more with Candy Apple. And then I used Goblin on the outer corners. And then for my lid, I went into Deadly. It's just such a gorgeous, like, orangey shimmer. And then for my brow bone, I used the shade Wicked. And then for my inner corners, I went into the Gold Full Moon shade, which is gorgeous. And then from the lower lash line, I just smudged a little bit of Jack-o'-lantern, and that's it. And I love how it looks. It's so pretty. So I wanted to use that palette again. I've been dying to do this look again, so I figured I would just do it when I'm wearing my orange plaid shirt. And then for my liner, I just went into my Makeup Forever black liner. This is actually the first time I'm using the black one. And this is the shade Whatever Black. This is a really good liner so far. I really like it. And then for my mascara, so I just primed with my Essence Lash Primer, and then for my mascara, I went into the last new mascara that I needed to try in the Sephora Favorites set that I got, and this is the Benefit Fan Fest mascara, and I think I really like this one. It is really nice, so I'm definitely going to continue using that. And then I just used my Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes by Maybelline, and then I primed my face with the Do It Spray and the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer, right? I always forget the name of this. Yeah, Power Grip Primer. And then for my foundation, I just went back into my Glossier foundation. I love this one. It's such a good full coverage foundation for me. And this is in the shade Very Light, because of course I'm the lightest shade in everything. And then for my concealer, I went into the Urban Decay Stay Naked Quickie Concealer in the shade 10NN because I love this concealer for full coverage. And then I set my under eyes with the Pat McGrath powder, and then I set my face with the Urban Decay powder. And then for my bronzer, I just went back into my House Labs bronzer, the Power Sculpt Velvet bronzer in the shade Light Level 1. I just love this bronzer. And then for my blush, I went into the Blend Bunny Cosmetics Bare Cheeks palette again because I can never get enough of this palette, and I like using it at least once a week or when I can. And I just mix these two shades together very lightly because they are so pigmented, but they're so beautiful and they last so long on the skin. So I went in with a tiny bit of Making Me Blush, and then I went over it with In Charge, and it was just, I barely needed any of it because it's just so pigmented. And then for my highlight, I went into my Give Me Glow highlighter in the shade Transcendence. I just haven't used this in a little while, and I love this shade when I want just like a good orangey highlighter. That's like one of my favorites. And then I just set my face with the Milk Makeup Setting Spray, and then I set my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, I went into Minute Man by ColourPop, of course, for my lip liner because it's like my favorite warm tone lip liner. And then for my lips, I went into a ColourPop lippy stick. This is the shade Who Run This. Oh, now it's working properly. For some reason, it wasn't letting me twist it up and down before, of course, when I was applying it, and now, of course, it's fine. So this is the shade Who Run This. It's such a stunning, like, warm tone terracotta color, and this is their, oh my god, are you serious, Caitlin? Stop getting hair on it. And this is in the Matte X formula, so it's a really good lipstick for when you don't want to wear a liquid lipstick, but you want it to, like, still last like a liquid lipstick. The Matte X formula is very similar to that, like if you don't like wearing liquid lipsticks. So yeah, I really love how this look turned out, and I gotta go, so bye. Okay, so hey there guys, want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. So I got home from work around 6:30. I actually had to pick up food for my family, so I left at 6 from work and then picked it up and then got home at like 6:30. I wasn't even that hungry for dinner because my boss actually got us food today and we ordered tacos and burritos, and I was like really full from lunch that I wasn't even that hungry for dinner because I already had breakfast and lunch, but I was hungry for lunch. But usually after I have like 2 meals, sometimes I'm not really that hungry for dinner. So anyway, I primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer, and then I just used the Micole lip oil, and then I set my eyes with the Urban Decay Stay Naked powder. And then for my eyeshadow today, I went in with the Glaminatrix Cosmetics Rich Romantic palette again. I love how you can barely see the title of the palette, and I just wanted to do another look with this palette. So now I've used 4 out of the 7 shimmers. So, and I actually just used this palette as a standalone today because I wanted to wear like this pastel striped v-neck sweater that I got from Lucky Brand a while back. So I used Admire in the crease, then I darkened up the crease more with Cherish, and then I used you cannot read these names from this angle, and then I used Intimate on the outer corners, and then for the lid shade I used Seductive, and it was such a stunning shimmer. Like I cannot stop staring at the shimmer shades when I use this palette. And then for the brow bone I used Intoxicating again, and then for the inner corners I just used Romantic on the inner corners, and it just turned out super pretty. I just really wanted to use this palette with this sweater because then I could use it completely on its own, and I'm glad I got another look out of it. So yeah, and then I used, let me just put away the palette. Probably not going to use it tomorrow though. I might work tomorrow too. I really don't want to, but we're kind of short staffed right now because this lady like keeps on not showing up for her shifts, and it's like driving me crazy, but it's just one extra day, so whatever. I used the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Charmer on my waterline, and then for my mascara, I of course used the Essence Lash Primer, and then I went in with the Essence Lancome Idole Lash Mascara, and then I just used the Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes, and then for my face, I primed with the Do It Spray and the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. And then for my foundation and concealer, I went in with the Makeup by Mario combo. I went in with my Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Foundation. I still love this foundation. It looks so beautiful on the skin. I really love it. It's very similar to the House Labs for me. I just love the finish of both of these foundations. They're so beautiful. And then I used the Coinciding Concealer, which I also really like, in the shade 120. And then I set my under eyes with the Pat McGrath powder, and then I set my face with the Urban Decay powder. And then for my bronzer, I wanted to go into the Makeup by Mario bronzer. I didn't even realize it's because I used the foundation and concealer. I wanted to use the bronzer, but I just went in with the bronzer in the shade Light. This is the Soft Sculpt Powder Bronzer. I really like it. And then for my blush, I went into my ColourPop Alice in Wonderland blush. I really love this pink color, and I hadn't used it in a while, so I wanted to use it today. This is the shade Oh Dear. This is like one of my favorite icy pink blushes in my collection. I've used it a few times, and it's just such a pretty blush. And then for my highlight, I don't know why I used this today, but I thought it looked pretty, so I used the Be Perfect Cosmetics Get Wet highlighter in the Skin Sheen Get Wet highlighter. That's all it says. It's okay. It's not like my absolute favorite highlight formula, but it's pretty. And it worked with this look. And then I set my face with the Urban Decay, this Milk Makeup Setting Spray again. I'm so tired, you guys. This whole turning the clocks back thing is just makes me tired. And then I used the e.l.f. Wow Brow in my brows. And then for my lips, I went in with the ColourPop Lip Liner in the shade Oh Snap. And then for my lipstick, I used the Valentino Liqui Russo Liquid Lipstick in the shade 115R. I don't know if this was the absolute best shade to use, but I like the contrast with the eyeshadow, so I thought it looked really pretty. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go. Bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. I wanted to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. So I did end up working today. I was supposed to see my boyfriend originally, but he didn't text me until like 6 p.m. today. And I was like, yeah, I ended up working. I worked at 2 and I didn't get out until 7, and then I actually met my mom and my brother to go to dinner because this new place called Burger Village opened near us. We went there. Even though I brought food with me for lunch and dinner today at work because I wasn't sure how long I was going to be there. But now I'm tired. So I primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer, and then I use the Amicale lip oil, and then I set my eyes with my Dior Backstage powder. And then for my eyeshadow today, I decided oh my god, that's how tired I am. I went into an oldie but a goodie, and this is the ColourPop Lust for Dusk palette because I wanted something cool tone but not exactly too gray. So I just went in with a couple of these shades here. So I went in with the shade Take the Lead in the crease. Then I darkened up the crease more with Twilight. And then I used a little bit of Serve Chilled on the outer corners and a tiny bit of That's Neat as well, just to deepen it up a bit more. And then for the lid, I used Night Lovers. And then I went in with Mood Lighting on the inner corners. And it turned out really nice. It lasted most of the day. I think it looked really good. This is one of my all-time favorite palettes from ColourPop, so that's all I used from the palette. And then I just used Brighter Days on the brow bone. And then for my waterline, I used the Makeup Forever liner in the shade Whatever Black again. And then I'm really tired, I'm sorry. And my desk is a mess. I haven't put anything away yet because I just got home. And then I just primed my eyes with the Essence my lashes with the Essence Lash Primer. And then I used the Tarte Tartelette Mascara again, the tubing mascara. I really like this one, so I wanted to use it again. And then I just used the Maybelline Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes. And then I primed my face with the Do It Spray and then my e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. And then for my foundation today, I went into the Dior Forever Skin Glow Foundation. And this one's in the shade 00. Of course, it's the lightest shade. I really like this foundation. It's a very nice one. It lasted a decent amount of time. It's not my favorite for like a long-lasting foundation, but it still looks good. And then for my concealer, I went in with the LYS Triple Fix Full Coverage Brightening Concealer in the shade LG3. And then I set my under eyes with the Pat McGrath powder, and then I set my face with the Dior powder again. And then for my bronzer, I used my Gucci bronzer in the shade 01 just because I really wanted to use it today, and I love my Gucci bronzer. And then for my blush, I went into the new Makeup Forever blush that I picked up during the Sephora VIB sale. So this one is the Artist Blush in the shade B300 Anywhere Peach, and I really like how this applied today. It's still on my cheeks, and I think that it applied very smoothly, almost velvety, and it was pretty pigmented when I put it on today, so I really, really liked it. And then for my highlight, I went into my Blend Bunny Cosmetics Forget Me Not palette, and I just took the shade Memories right here, which is this bottom silver shade, and I wanted to use that shade again. So I've only used it once, just like a couple of days ago, and I've had this palette for like a month or two already, and I finally went into this shade. But I use a lot more silver highlighters like during the winter time, like fall and winter, and it looks really pretty. It still looks gorgeous, even at the end of the day. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup Spray, and then I set my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, I went into the ColourPop Lip Liner in the shade Beeper. And then for my lippy, I went into the Sailor Moon Ultra Blotted Lip. So this is the shade, the ColourPop Ultra Blotted Lip, not lit, in the shade Sailor Fugu, right? Yeah, Sailor Fugu. So I just went in with that because I've only used this once, and I thought it was a really pretty lippy for this look. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go relax. I think we're gonna go watch Loki. So yeah, bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. I wanted to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. I actually just filmed this look and I get ready with me. So I'm about to go to my boyfriend's house. So I prime my eyes with the ColourPop Party Proof Primer. And then I used my Amicole lip oil. And then I set my eyes with my ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder. And then for my eyeshadow palette, I wanted to go back into the Laminatrix Cosmetics Rich Romantic palette again. I just really wanted to do this warm tone orangey look finally, and I really have been enjoying this palette, so you are going to be seeing this a bit more often in my Everyday Makeup Lookbook. It's just a really pretty palette, so I really wanted to use these warm tones today because I haven't been able to dip into them yet. So now I think I've used every single matte in this palette. I just have this shade and this shade to use on the lid, but I usually use those on the inner corners. But basically, I tested out the palette by going down this row entirely, and I finally used this shade today, and it's so gorgeous. So I went in with Devotion in the crease, then I darkened up the crease more with Lover, and then I used Passion on the outer corners. And then for my lid, like I said, I went into Charming, and this shade is so stunning. I think it might be my favorite shade in the palette because it's such a beautiful, like, duochrome, goldish, orangey, beautiful shimmer. I just can't get over Laminatrix shimmers. They are so beyond stunning, and I absolutely love this look. And then I went in with Intoxicating on the brow bone. So that's everything that I used from the palette today. And then, sorry, I don't know why the insert's like coming out, and I'm getting pretty hungry, so I need to leave. And then for my inner corners, I went into the Nearly Natural palette, and I went in with the shade Naked Eye, which is such a stunning inner corner highlight because I've been wanting to use, there's like a couple more like lighter toned shimmers in this palette, so I just used that one. I probably should have used the Unveiled shade, like the peachy shade, but I really like how this shade looks on the inner corners. So yeah, that's all I used today. And then for my, hold on a second. I'm getting hungry. I need to get out of here. I'm really, really hungry. Even though I wanted to get sesame chicken, my boyfriend wants sesame chicken, and I don't know if I want to get the same thing for myself. Probably will just get sweet and sour chicken. That sounds like a plan. For my waterline, I went in with the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in the shade Brown, the Limitless Brown shade. And then for my mascara, I went into the Milk Makeup Rise Mascara, the little sample that came in the sample set that I got from Sephora. I'm mostly going to be using these mascaras for the next couple of weeks. And then I used the Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes, of course. And then for my face, I primed with the Do It Spray and my Rare Beauty Illuminating Primer. And then for my skin tint, I went in with the Cali Ray one again. I just absolutely love this one. So this is the Free Dreaming Skin Wellness Diffusing Tint in the shade The One. So I just wanted to use that again today. And then for my concealer, I went into the Makeup, I was about to say the Makeup Forever, the Maybelline Instant Dark Circle Eraser, Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. You can tell I'm hungry. Dark Circle Eraser in the shade 9-5. And I really, really love that concealer. And then, I mean, I've been through countless ones. And then I also went into my Maybelline Fit Me powder today because I wanted to use something a bit different. So I went into the shade 05. I've been using the Becca one a lot. And I still want to, like, use, like, the loose powders in my collection. And then for my face, I just set it, of course, with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder again. And then for my bronzer, I just wanted to go back into the Makeup by Mari one again. I've used this one a couple of times since I've gotten it, and I really am enjoying it. So this is the Soft Sculpt bronzer in the shade Light. And then for my blush, I just went into the same blush that I used yesterday because I loved it so much that I just wanted to use it again. So I just used the Makeup Forever Artist Blush in the shade B300 Anywhere Peach. I just really, really like it. And then for my highlight, I went into the Rare Beauty highlighter because I just wanted to use my Rare Beauty highlighter today. So this is the, I forget what these are called, but this is the shade Exhilarate. But I absolutely love the Rare Beauty highlighters. They're like my favorites of 2023, so I just wanted to use it again today. And then I just set my face with my Do It Spray again. Well, actually, I used the Rare Beauty one today because I wanted to go back into that one. And then I just set my brows with the ColourPop Brow Blush Gel. And then for my lips, I went into my Rare Beauty matte lipstick in the shade Creative. I'm actually glad I used the highlighter because I didn't realize I planned to use both of them at the same time until literally now. But I knew I wanted to use this lipstick today, so I wanted to do like a peachy look. So I went in with this lipstick, and I haven't used it in a hot minute, so I really wanted to use this lipstick today. I was going to use my Fantasy Cosmetica palette today, but I am going to use that probably later this week, probably like 2 days from now, but I really need to dip back into that palette again, but I'm mostly just going to be re-dipping into my newer palettes again this week, and then probably use some older palettes this weekend. So yeah, that's it. Bye. The reason why I didn't use the Fantasy Cosmetica one is because, one, I wanted to do another get ready with me with this on my channel and another look with it because I've only done one look with it, but also I wanted to film that today rather than Thursday, and also it ended up being a little bit like warmer today here in New York than I was intending it to be, or that I thought it was going to be. Obviously I don't control the weather, but it was like cooler last night. Like it was colder yesterday, and then today it's almost like 60 degrees, so I didn't want to wear the sweater I was going to wear because it's a bit heavier than this one. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there guys, I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. So I primed my eyes with the ColourPop Party Proof Primer, then of course used my Amico lip oil, and then I set my eyes with the Pretty Fresh powder from ColourPop. And then for my eyeshadow palette, I just went back into the ColourPop 1111 palette. I just really have been enjoying this palette so much, and when I use this palette, then I can just use ColourPop again, and y'all know it's like my most reached for brand. I'm always using ColourPop at least twice a week. I try to use ColourPop palettes at least twice a week if I'm not using like a newer palette or like an older palette that I wanted to go back to. So I went in with Protection in the crease, then I darkened up the crease more with Right Path, and then I used Empowered on the outer corners, and then for my lid I used Balanced, and then for my inner corners I used Manifest It, and that's all I used from the palette, and it just turned out really, really pretty. And then I just used Brighter Days from the Blend Bunny palette on my brow bone, the Forget Me Not palette, and then I used my Makeup Forever liner in the shade Anywhere Caffeine on the waterline. I just really have been enjoying that as a liner as well as a lip liner. And then for my mascara, I just used my Essence Lash Primer, of course, and then I used my ColourPop Act Natural mascara because y'all know how much I love this. And then I just used my Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes, and then I primed my face with the Do It Spray and then the Rare Beauty Illuminating Primer. And then for my tinted moisturizer, I just went in with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer in the shade Fair 1N. And then for my concealer, I used the Tower 28 concealer, serum concealer in the shade BH. I just wanted to go into that guy again. I love this concealer. And then I set my under eyes with the Becca powder. And then I set my face with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder again. And then for my bronzer, I went into the ColourPop matte bronzer in the shade Alviva Beach. So I just used that. And then for my blush, I went into my Danessa Myricks. Where did I even put it? I don't even know where I put it, honestly. I don't know where I put it. I put it somewhere. Over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Where did I put it? Oh, it's right here. Right here. The Danessa Myricks Beauty Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder, whatever, such a long name, in the shade Jubilee. I guess it's a very holiday name. Can I get this out of the thing? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Why can't I get this out of here? There we go. I gotta put this shit away. I literally have had no time. So this is the blush in the shade Jubilee. So I wanted to use that on my cheeks again. It's just such a pretty blush. I love it. And then for my highlighter, sorry, your girl is tired. I went into the Blend Bunny Cosmetics Forget Me Not palette, and I used the highlight shade in here called Butterflies. This is one of my favorite pink highlighters in my collection, if I could speak. It's just really, really pretty. And then I just set my face with the Rare Beauty spray. And then I set my brows with the ColourPop Brow Blush Gel. And then for my lips, I used my Lawless lipstick again that I got from the Sephora VIB sale. And I used the plumping lipstick in the shade Wedding Day. And again, if you don't like plumping lipsticks, this is your guy. Because I am not a fan of plumping lipsticks either. And this is like the most gentle, easy plumping lipstick you'll ever use. So yeah, that's it. Bye. I got my nails done today and a massage, and I went book shopping. And I'm very excited to start reading again. I've just fallen in love with reading. And I'm just so excited. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. Wanted to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. I'm about to go to my boyfriend's house. So I primed my eyes with the ColourPop Party Proof Primer and the Amicole lip oil, of course, to prep my lips. And then I set my eyes with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder. I'm a bit, like, drained. Not in a bad way. It's just, like, mentally, I've been focusing on a lot of stuff, like, for jobs and everything. So, but I'm not, like, that tired today. I'm just, like, what did I use? Like, but I've been reading a ton. I read so much yesterday, so it's been really, like, great for my mental headspace. I don't know, reading does something to you that is just such a mentally stimulating thing, but also it makes you feel so good. Like, it's kind of a high that I don't really get from watching a show or watching a movie or watching YouTube. It's like, because I feel like since you're stimulating your brain so much, it just really helps mentally. I don't know if that's the same effect for other people, but it has been for me. So, and then for my eyeshadow palette, I finally went back into the Fantasy Cosmetica Druid palette because I kept on saying that I was going to go back into this palette. So I finally used it again. If it looks a bit funky on this side, I don't really know how else to fix it. I accidentally, like, stabbed myself with the mascara wand and I got, like, a bunch of mascara there. So I tried to, like, wipe it off with a tissue, and then I kind of just wiped the crease shade back and forth to kind of get rid of it. It's not really that noticeable in person, but you can see, like, a little speck there. But I wasn't going to completely remove my makeup there and then redo it again. There was just no point. So I went in with Sage in the crease. Then I darkened out the crease more with Forest. And then I used Old Growth on the outer corners. And then for my lid, I went in with Balance. I know Balance is the last shade that I did use in this palette, and I haven't been able to dip back into this since then, but I am so happy I was able to use it today because, oh my god, the formula of this palette is so fantastic. The mattes just blend themselves. They're so smooth, and the metallics are so ridiculously beautiful. And this ended up being, like, my favorite shade in the palette, so I wanted to go back in with it again when I finally was able to use it again. And then I used Serenity on the inner corners, and that's everything that I used, and this palette is just so nice. And then I just went in with Brighter Days from the Forget Me Not palette from Blend Bunny on my brow bone. And then for my, and I'm wearing, like, this super cuddly, like, warm sweater from Lucky Brand, so I knew I wanted to wear this palette with it. And then for my liner, I just went in with the Makeup Forever liner in the shade Brown. And then I just used my Essence Lash Primer. And then for my mascara, like I said, I did stab myself. Like, I just went like this on my eye, and I was like, oh my god, I think it's just because I blinked. But also, for some reason, I was putting the mascara wand towards my eye this way, which I never do. It was just dumb, but whatever. I just used my Tower 28 mascara, and then for my bottom lashes, I just used the Maybelline Lash Discovery as always, and then I primed my face with the Do It spray and the Rare Beauty Illuminating Primer. I've just been using that almost every day just because it's an easy primer to use. And then for my skin tint, I wanted to go into the Fenty Beauty Easy Skin Tint in the shade 1. This has been the only Fenty Beauty face product that I've really loved. I don't really like her foundations, but the skin tint is amazing. And then for my concealer, I went into my Lancome Tint Idol Ultra Wear All Over Concealer again in the shade 090. This one's a really nice, just everyday concealer. And then I set my under eyes with the Becca powder, and then I set my face with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder again. And then for my bronzer, I just went back into the Makeup by Mario one. I really have been enjoying this one. This has become like my new favorite daily everyday bronzer. This is the shade Light, and I just really, really love it. And then for my blush, I finally went into this Essence blush that's been sitting in front of me like for a couple of weeks. I've been trying to rotate old and new blushes in my collection because I recently had acquired so many blushes in my collection this year. So I just used this Essence blush in the shade Satin Coral. It's a really good blush. Essence has great products and they're so cheap, so don't sleep on Essence. And then for my highlighter, I went into the Anastasia Beverly Hills highlighter again in the shade Iced Out, because I really wanted to use it with this palette because, again, I feel like it has a greeny gold hint to it. It's just such a beautiful highlighter, so I just wanted to use that. And then I set my face with the Rare Beauty spray, and then I set my brows with the ColourPop Brow Blush Gel, and then for my lips, I went into the Haus Labs lip crayon again in the shade Honey Matte because I wanted to use it again, and it's just such a beautiful, like, warm-toned nude shade. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there guys. So I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. I'm pretty tired because I just got home from work. So I primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer, and then I used my Micole lip oil, of course, and then I set my eyes with the Urban Decay Stay Naked powder. And then for my eyeshadow today, I actually combined two Nomad palettes. I used my Whistler Snow Lodge and my Verona palette. So from the Whistler Snow Lodge, for the matte, I used these two shades. I used Snow Bunny in the crease, and then I used Snowman on the outer corners. And then for my defining shade and lid shade, I went into the Verona palette. I think I actually only ended up using, yeah, I used 3 shades from this palette, 3 shades from this palette. So I used 3 and 3. For my defining shade, I went in with the shade Poison, and then for my lid shade, I went into Moors. I really did want to use Juliet, but I ended up popping Juliet on the inner corners instead because, and I really, really like how this look turned out, even though I have, like, done something, like, similar to this look before with this palette. I really like the gold with the blue, and then since I went into this shade again, I finally used all the shades, all the shimmers in this palette twice. And this is like the second palette I've been able to do that with so far, besides like my Akavango Safari palette from Nomad that I bought this year and the Royal Europe. So I did actually use those shimmers a little bit more than these ones. But this is still a great palette. I still love this palette. So I'm glad that I finally was able to do that. And then for my lower lash line, I took the shade Ski In on the inner part because I really wanted to add a little bit more of that goldish shade, and also I love this shade so much that I wanted to just pop it on for a bit of shimmer underneath my eyes. And then I went in with the tiniest bit of Snow Bunny on the outer part, but I feel like that kind of faded and I didn't really feel like reapplying it, but it did turn out really, really pretty. And then for my line, and then I just went in with Brighter Days Bly. It's been a long day. I went in with Brighter Days by Blend Bunny on the brow bone. And then for my liner, I went in with the Makeup Forever liner in the shade Anywhere, whatever, black, whatever, what the color name is. The shade name, I mean, oh my goodness. And then I just used my Essence Lash Primer. Oh my god, my jeans are cutting into my stomach. And then I primed my lashes with the Essence Lash Primer, and then I used the Benefit Fan Fest mascara for my mascara today. And then I used the Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes, of course, by Maybelline. And then for my primer, I used this primer, which I haven't used in a while. I just, of course, used my Do It spray. And then I used the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. I find that this dries out my skin, and I feel like it doesn't make this Glossier foundation last as long as it should. Like, I usually don't get this dewy, and my nose just feels very dry. So I think it's definitely the primer. I like using that primer more so like on lighter makeup days. I think I'm going to stick with my e.l.f. one tomorrow, but I went in with my Glossier foundation again. I'm actually running out of foundation options lately. It's like weird, but whatever. So this is the Glossier foundation in the shade Very Light. And then for my concealer, I went into the Urban Decay Naked Quickie Concealer in the shade 10NN. And then I set my face with the Pat McGrath Labs powder. And then I set my entire face with my Urban Decay powder. I set my under eyes with the Pat McGrath powder. By the way, I'm wearing the sweater that I wore in my collab video with Debutante and Beauty Jacked. And I'm wearing like a similar look to that because that was the only time I actually ended up wearing this sweater when I bought it, was that video. And that was like 8 months ago, like February or March of this year. So I finally was able to wear it again because it's getting colder out and I wanted to wear it with that palette. But also I really wanted to use Nomad today, so just ended up working out. And then for my bronzer, I went into the Pat McGrath Labs bronzer in the shade Naked Desire. And then for my blush, I went into my favorite blush of the year, and that is the Gucci blush in the shade Tender Apricot. I just love this blush so much. It's so beautiful. I love it. And then for my highlight, I went into the Blend Bunny Cosmetics Noctilucent palette, which is probably my favorite highlighting palette of 2023. And I used the shades Far Out and Apparition, and I just mixed those two together. Absolutely stunning. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup Setting Spray, and then I set my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, where is it? I can never find my lipstick. I think that I put it in like a spot where I could actually find it, and then lo and behold, I cannot. And it takes me like 10 million years to find it again. I hope I didn't, yeah, it's right here. I went in with the ColourPop lip liner in the shade Beeper, and then for my lips, I went into my Patrick Ta lip cream. This is the shade She's Sincere. A lot of alliteration today, but I just love this lippy, and I just really wanted to put it on. I really like his lip creams because they actually are lip creams that don't dry down too much, but they also last quite a long time on the lips, and they just feel so comfortable. And I really liked how this looked with the blush and the eyeshadow. I'm gonna go. I'm tired. Bye.